Question is, what is happening? And after what's happening, what can we do to fix the situation? And what can we do in our optical practice to make the environment so much better and more productive?
Hi there, my name is Abbas and I run the Optical Mentor Program. Now, the whole point of this podcast is to help you grow your businesses to be as successful as they can be, just as I've done with my practice in central London. How are we going to do this? I'm going to be giving you hints, tips, sales processes, systems and processes that you can implement to make your lives easier, for your shops to work smart, not hard, and grow your businesses to be as successful as they can be. So please share with other owners or other business owners that you feel could benefit from this, and let's grow together.
So within the optical industry, we've noticed that over the last third or the last quarter of the year, July, August, September, October, things have slowed down. And it's not just, happened within the optical practices, it's happened in the lens companies, the frame companies, so on and so forth. So the question is, what is happening? And after what's happening, what can we do to fix the situation? And what can we do in our optical practice to make the environment so much better and more productive? So there's a couple of things that we need to bear in mind. So recently I was speaking to a lens rep and he said that there were a couple of practices in central London who had gone down by 50% of the turnover. If you see me laugh, it's because my daughter's making funny pictures in the corner. But 50% of their turnover they dropped by for each month. Now that is shocking and that is surprising. However, when I say shocking, I'm not saying it in a negative point of view from that practice, but I'm just saying that the environment sometimes can be really bad and we just have to work through it. Now, we've been through many situations previously and we've worked through the stages. So if you look at COVID came, COVID went. Some of us suffered significantly, especially in London, but now things are starting to progress and we're starting to head in the right direction. And then after that came inflation and the interest rates going up. Thank you, Prime Minister, for messing up the budget. However, that happened and obviously people's mortgages and everything, the prices went up and there's been a little bit of struggling there. There's the war going on outside, or a couple of wars which are happening. And, from a mental point of view, it has affected a few people because naturally, as in people, don't like to see wars and very, very sad situations. What else is there? Labor have come in. And if you're a small business like myself or like yourselves, what's happened? International insurance has gone up from 13.8 to 15%. Now, in my mind, I think to myself, Labour, you lot are out for us. But what I would say to you is that, look, we're not alone. Everybody is in the same boat. Retail across the board, there are some slight issues which are happening at the moment. However, we need to overcome them and we need to progress and we need to push them. We need to become stronger. So the question is that what are we going to do? Now, we could sit there and we could be like, oh my God, the whole world is against me. What am I going to do? This is terrible. Or we can try our level best to improve and get better. Now, for me, I'm going to make sure that our practice in central London progresses and it pushes and it gets out of this slump. And all of those people who work with me in the Optical Mentor, I'm going to be making sure that I'm holding yourselves accountable and pushing you to direct yourselves to become better. For everyone else, I want to make sure that yourselves are doing the same thing as well. We want to make sure that, as I said, as a group of individuals or as a group of optical practices, we are progressing and we are growing effectively and being able to help each other out in times of need. So the three ways that you can sort of make yourselves be helping yourselves out really in order to get out of this current slump. Number one, focus on you. Yeah, as a practice owner, naturally we're going to have times where things bring us down. Yeah, it's natural, it's common, and there's so many things out there. But in the scheme of things, our situations are not that bad. When you look at all of the outside external factors as in inflation and etc., as long as we're not sick, our health is okay, our family members are okay, and, as I said, we're not in a war, really our lives are not that bad. We've got a roof under our heads, we've got jobs. So really, that's the first thing that you should be positive about. Number two is that, if you are worried about these things, you need to have some way in your mind that you can just get them and be like, and get rid of it. Think about it for 5 minutes. Complain to whoever you want to. Yeah, take all of out your frustration, do what you need to do. But then after that, you need to put it to side. You need to move on because you know what? It's not going to change and there's nothing that you can do to affect it. So you might as well just carry on working and try your level best to be as successful as you can be and progress. So focus on yourself, focus on your mindset. The stronger your mindset is, you're going to notice that, as I said, things are going to be better for everyone. If it means you going for a walk, whatever it is, affirmations, as in, thanking God for what you have, anything that you need to do, you need to make sure that you are implementing it into your life to try and make life better for you. Now, why is that so important? Because when you focus on number one, which is yourself, what are you doing? You're helping everyone alongside you. You're helping your family members, because you know what they say, a happy wife is a happy life. Or happy parents, happy kids. You know that if you can make them happy, your life is going to be so much easier. Friends, they don't want to be going out with a boring git. You got to be happy. You got to enjoy yourself. When you go out, you want your friends to be happy to be with you, rather than being like, oh no, he's back again. Oh God, like, what are we going to do? So, try your level best to stay on top. But more importantly than anything else is that if you remain positive, it will, pass on to your colleagues at work. And they're the people who are really the most important people at the end of the day, because they're going to make your practices run. If you can maintain, as in an upbeat spirit, be positive, be happy, and, as I said, help them or direct them into the right way of working so they can improve, they can make sure that they're focusing as much as they can. You need to be telling them stories. You need to remember, everybody has money out there, or they have some form of disposable income that they have. How many people have the newest iPhone? How many people go and get their hair done, their nails done, as I said, their eyebrows done, whatever they need to be done, they're getting it done. Why? Because they want to look great. And how does it feel when they look great? They feel great about themselves. They feel nice and confident. So if you think about it, they've got disposable income. Everybody's got some form of disposable income. So we need to be making sure that we are showing to them that our products in the shop are as valuable as they can be. And they value what we're trying to sell them. Now, this is why it's so important for you to be making sure that you're constantly reminding your colleagues of this, so they know that, no, we can go out and we can make sure that people are buying the products that we want to sell to them. Number two, staff training. Now, when you have time, or when you're going through a bad situation, what you need to do is you need to try and identify where things are potentially not working and what you can work on with your team to progress them. In our shop, in Hod Barnes and Dickens, we train probably about twice a week on sales. I know my colleagues are so sick and tired of hearing my voice. Sometimes I feel like, take out my voice box and be like, what? Get rid of him. But seriously, you need to make sure that you are constantly training your team up as much as possible. Train them, identify what's going on, role play, but make sure at the same time that you've got the right stuff in there. Now, what this is going to do is that it's going to improve the quality of service that they provide. But also at the same time, it gives you the opportunity to relook through your processes and other systems that you have implemented, maybe tweak them up, change them up, because you need to be constantly doing that on a regular basis to improve things. But also it allows them to realize that, we need to do things in a specific way, because sometimes they may have been doing things which are slightly wrong or not the right way, and they can make things better. So when you do get busy, or when you start to seeing things progressing and getting better, the systems are already in place. They've already been trained up in the right way. I've got this way of thinking in my mind that I always think to myself, you know what? Whenever we have something, as in when things are good, when times are going really well, you need to really just jump on the bandwagon and just go. Just go. Jump on that plane and go all the way to Maldives or wherever it is. But enjoy yourself. Maximize it out. But when times are bad, you need to dig in deep. And you need to make sure that you're digging in as much as you can and helping each other out and pushing yourselves and constantly training and pushing each other, so that when times do become better, you're on that wave up. It reminds me of a story of the famous basketball player, Kobe Bryant. So in his first season, when he had just become famous, he was playing a game and he had 3 opportunities to score in the last quarter to win the game. The first one came in, he missed. Second one, he missed. Third one, he was like, woo! And he missed. So at the end of the game, he was sitting there with his head in his hands. And the reporter came at the end and said to you, oh, Kobe, were you sitting there, with your head in your hands because you were upset that you disappointed your colleagues? And this is the mentality of the man, and this is the mentality that we need to have. What he did was he literally stood up and he said, no, the reason why I had my head in my hands was because I was literally trying to visualize the process that I was going to use next time to make sure that I completed those shots. And that's the way that, as I said, we need to be thinking going forward. How can we be making sure that we're one step ahead, and when the opportunity does arise again for us to do well, we are there ready to just put that ball in the hoop. Number 3 is looking at the numbers and focusing on the numbers in depth. Now, why is this important? So there are going to be opportunities that you have in your shop where when you look at the numbers, it all makes sense. So, one of the numbers which I look at is obviously frame spend. So how much our customers have spent on frames in the month. Lens spend, eye examinations, new customers, dispensing percentage, how many people have come in with an outside RX. Now, I'm not saying that you should focus on all of these, and you need to identify which ones are the most important to your practice. But what it's going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to work on certain things when it comes to the training, and it's going to allow you to identify potentially where you haven't been as successful as you could have been. So what I noticed was that when it came to the month of August, we were noticing a lot of people were walking into the shop, but they weren't doing anything. So what we did was we decided, okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to focus on the numbers, and I want us to put together a chart of how many people came in looking for specific products, looking for specific services, and how many of those individuals we actually converted into something tangible and financial. As I said, we put that into place. At the end of the month, what it allowed me to do is it allowed me to see where we were missing out on people and where potentially we needed to be trained. So what we did was we focused significantly on our training and on specific sort of areas where we felt, okay, yeah, you know what, we're functioning at the moment at, let's say, 7 out of 10. We need to get it up to a 9 out of 10. And what I would say to you is that for the month of October, it was much more productive compared to the month of September. And we only saw 5 more individuals in the whole month. So that just shows that, as I said, if you focus on the numbers, what's going to happen is that it's going to translate to improving the numbers and making yourselves more successful. And again, finance is one of the biggest things that we focus on the Optical Mentor, because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm like a geek. I love maths. Yeah, I love maths. I love looking at numbers. I look at numbers on a regular basis. Sometimes just focusing on, as I said, the KPIs, seeing how we're doing, looking at the financial forecast of where the company is going, etc. So these are very important things that you need to look at. So as I mentioned to you earlier, the 3 main things to focus on in order for yourselves to get out of, let's say, an area where you're thinking, oh, I'm a bit worried, I don't know what to do. Number 1, focus on you and your mindset. You get your mindset right and you get your team on board, everything else, plain sailing. Number 2, focus on your team. Train them up. Make sure you're constantly training them. Whether you're busy, whether you're quiet, it doesn't matter. Make sure that you're putting some time to the side. That prep meeting in the morning for 15 minutes, going through your patient's records, so key, so important to success. And number 3, focus on the numbers. Your KPIs, get them right. Make sure that you've got everything, to a T. You know exactly what you're doing, where you can reinvest in the business. But more importantly, as I said, it will allow you to identify where you weren't so successful in those months and how you can improve and get better.
Hope you enjoyed the content, and more importantly, hopefully there's 1 or 2 tips in there which you think, yeah, you know what, I can implement that in my practice to help me grow my business to be as successful as it can be. So please please share with your fellow professionals. And if you want to know more about how the Optical Mentor can help you grow your business, please link in the bio, and we'll be happy to reach out and have a conversation to see where we can grow together.